All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mithilesh Kumar Jha, and I welcome you to this third live session for this course, Introduction to Modern Indian Political Thought. During this live session, you can join me using the MS link shared on the course portal, and also you can join me using the YouTube link. If you are joining through YouTube link, please type your question or share your feedback, and I'll be happy to respond to them, and I'll check from time to time. Um, so you are welcome, and please share your thought, concern, questions regarding this course, its content, or the exam. I'll be happy to respond to them during this live session. However, let me begin by sharing some common points that many of you may have about the final exam and so on. So I have discussed this point in the first live session, and you can revisit those videos also, which is available on your course portal. One of the questions many of you may have is about the final exam. Uh, in the final exam, you will have computer-based exam. So a center allotted to you. You have to visit that center, and you can write. You can give the exam using the computer provided at that center. So it is going to be a computer-based exam of the nature of the questions would be MCQ. That means for each question, there would be multiple options, and there is only one correct answer to each question. So there could be occasions where you may feel there are more than one correct answer. You consider those options, carefully read the question, and select only the best or the most appropriate question out of the four options given to you. So this is going to be MCQ type or objective type questions in the final exam. I'd also like to clarify that you can write the final exam only if you have registered for this course. So many of you may have enrolled but could not register for one or the other reason. So final exam, um, uh, you will be able to write only if you have registered for the course by paying some amount which was announced on the course portal, and you can find further details on the course portal also. Those of you who missed the deadline for registration, you cannot register now and write the exam. So that date is long over. You cannot really register now to write the final exam. Now, third point I would like to make is about your uh, types of question in the final exam. So, this is a 12-week course. So over the 12 weeks, you have submitted 12 assignment. And to pass the course, you have to have requisite percentage in the assignment segment and also in the final exam. So out of 12, we'll be assessing your best 8 assignment. And out of that 8, you have to have 10 percentage point out of 25 to pass the assignment segment. In addition to that, you also need to score at least 30% out of 75 in the final exam. So when you meet both these criteria, that is 10 out of 25 in the assignment and 30 out of 75 in the final exam, only then you are eligible to earn a certificate from this course or pass this course. So you have to have minimum of 40, 10 from the assignment, and 30 from the final exam. So you need to meet both these criteria. Now, some of you may have missed some assignments. Some of you may have even submitted less than 8 assignments. But still, I'll encourage you to write the final exam because you have to secure the minimum of 10. And if you score that in 3, 4, 5, 6, or even less, then 8 assignment, still you should go and write the final exam, and you can still pass the course. So that's my suggestion. In the final exam, you will have different types of question. And if you are submitting your assignments regularly, you will have a sizable number of questions directly from the assignment. So submitting the assignment regularly in that sense is useful that you get same questions in the final exam, a sizable number of them. Then there would be some type of questions which will be based on your ability to recall. That means if you have watched the video, you should be able to respond to those questions. And the third type of question would be to assess your comprehension or understanding of a particular thinker. So to answer that, you need to study along with the video lecture, the PPT, and the video transcript provided to you. So all the questions in the assignment or on the basis of recall or comprehension, you will have from the video lecture, PPT, and the transcript. So now I'll discuss briefly about the study material. So if you are worried about the exam and exam preparation or scoring well in the exam, you should certainly watch the video, read the PPT, and the transcript. That should be sufficient to do well in the final exam because all the questions are based on these three study material. However, some of you may have some interest to know a particular thinker more. And for that, I have provided a list of reference. So for those learners who want to know a particular thinker more or go beyond the scope of this course, they can refer to those study materials also. So these are some of the initial points I thought of sharing with you. I have discussed these in the first live session, and you can check that video on your course portal. So now if you have any more queries or questions, or if you would like to share your feedback, please do so, and I'll be happy to respond to it. All right, so we have Jayaditya Agrawal. Hi, Jayaditya. It's on Aurobindo. Her question is, how does the Western liberal conception of man as a rational and autonomous being limit rationality or obstruct his evolution? Then, in addition to that, her question is, only by reasoning and rational mind one can understand anything, and without that, he becomes a blind believer. Yeah, very good question, Jayaditya. And I'd suggest you to recheck that video. There is a kind of different strands of philosophy in the Enlightenment tradition, which you refer to as West, because within the West you have different traditions, that is critical rationality and others. So if you think a tradition or intellectual tradition which emphasize on reason or rationality as the only medium to know something, to develop some understanding, and thereby you subject everything to skepticism or criticism. So, what you refer to as Western liberal conception, if you think Immanuel Kant, for example, as the most uh, representative thinker of that tradition, which focus on reason or rationality as a um, mechanism to have enlightenment. So, in his What is Enlightenment, or in German it's called Aufklärung, there was a kind of um, um, a kind of uh, uh, skepticism about all forms of authority, traditions, and so on. So, a rational man or rational mind suspect everything he or she sees. So, it leads to a kind of skepticism. And in human life or in individual life, you also want to have faith or trust or belief in something or some ideas or some institution in particular. So, um, uh, in Western traditions also, you have very strong criticism to those who think only about reason or rationality. There are, in fact, further division about instrumental rationality and critical rationality. We cannot go there, but reason or rationality is certainly a guide. But you cannot, if you look at, say, or people like Aurobindo, Vivekananda, and many others, reduce everything to region or rationality. There are also, uh, you know, um, there are also practices, traditions, which you can achieve beyond, uh, that you cannot achieve or understand or experience only through your rational faculty. So that would be my response to you. So you don't have to really accept what I am saying, or even what Aurobindo and how he provides criticism and talking about spirituality and higher order self, which transcend the limits of rationality or reason alone. So he is, I guess, not suspending reason or rationality, but arguing for transcending the limits of reason and rationality to reach higher order of the self, or connecting the self with the larger self. So I hope that's the immediate response to you, Jayaditya. A bit long, but that's a very good question, but at the same time, very complex one also. Yeah, so transcending the reason is not really believing something blindly. You use the reason, you use your rational faculty, but to understand the higher level of consciousness or self, you need to transcend the boundary of reason and rationality. It's not about blind following or something like that. All right, thank you. Very good question. Yeah, Aditya. But I'll also suggest you to revisit that lecture on self by um, Aurobindo, and how he connects it with different traditions, and how we can make sense of Western liberal rational tradition in the light of Aurobindo. All right, so now I'll be waiting for your questions or queries that I can take up during this live session. The those of you who have joined a little late, I have already discussed my initial points about the final exam, study materials, and so on. So you can revisit this video and earlier videos to learn about them. But if you have any questions or comment about the course and its content or final exam, please type it if you are using YouTube link, or you can use MS link, directly join and do that in through orally also. Right, so Jayaditya, another question, sir. Yes, please go ahead. Type your question, Jayaditya. Jayaditya, you can type your question, and other learners also, if you have any question or if you would like to share your thought, please do so. I cannot understand your question, Jaditya. This is in accordance to what I could understand about Tagore. But what's the first part, or can you clarify the question? Please type your question or share your thoughts. If you have joined me late, maybe I'll wait for a couple of minutes more. I'll share some of my uh, points related to exam in the beginning and in the previous live session also. Please revisit that video and this video in the beginning to know about the final exam and the study material. Aditya, sorry, I cannot understand your question. Are you relating it to the earlier question, or you have something specific about Tagore? It is not very clear to me. If you are still with us, you can clarify that, and then maybe I can respond. All right, so it seems there is no more question. So probably I'll wait for 1 more minute, and then maybe we can conclude this live session. All right, then. So let me conclude this live session because there is no more question. But before your exam, you can use the discussion forum for any questions or queries related to the course and the final exam. You can also use the discussion forum to share your feedback about the course, video lecture, assignment, or the content or pedagogy. Your feedback help us in improving the content for the upcoming session. So do share your feedback. I'll be looking forward to them, and use the discussion forum for your queries related to exam or anything. We'll be happy to respond to them. Um, I end this live session, but wish you all the very best for the final exam. Use the discussion forum meanwhile for any queries and comments. So I wish you all the very best for the final exam, and thank you for joining me during this live session. Thank you. All right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.